Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny and myself. Dial us up on the web. You know, you guys dial me. So many people are telling me now, oh, you're the guy with the internet show. Well, you know what? We're actually on real TV stations, too. Thursday, CAN TV, 7:30 p.m., 8 o'clock in Evanston on ECMC TV, Channel 6. Friday in Chicago on CAN TV, 2:30 p.m., as well as Mondays at 6 p.m. on channels 19 or 35 and about 30 or 35 north and northwest suburbs. It is a pleasure to introduce you for the first time, although you might have met him in person. He's all over the state shaking hands, to the Lieutenant Governor candidate of Scott Lee Cohen, independent Lieutenant Governor candidate, Baxter Swilley. Baxter, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me, Avi.
My pleasure. Thank you. And actually, you're a neighborhood resident. You're not far from here.
Yep, I live in Rogers Park, right on East Lake Terrace, not far from here.
Yeah.
I'm a homeboy.
And is this the first campaign you're involved in as a candidate?
As a candidate, this is my first run for public office, yes.
And what attracted you to the idea?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I've never wanted to run for public office. I've always been involved in political campaigns. I've run campaigns all over the country, all over the city and state. But I got a real bad feeling when the parking meters were privatized, and I thought that was a raw deal for the people of the city of Chicago. And I decided that I was going to run for alderman against someone because I was really upset. I decided not to do that. Scott Lee Cohen decided that he was going to run for lieutenant governor. He was going to run for governor after dropping out of the lieutenant governor race. And he asked me if I would join him. And he's a close friend of mine, and I believe in him. I trust him, and I know he's the right person to lead this state. So I decided that I would join him in his effort to bring jobs and hope and opportunity back to the state of Illinois.
Yeah, good move. I happen to like Scott, and he's been a frequent guest on the show. As a matter of fact, of all the individual interviews we've had on YouTube, the most watched one for just a one-on-one interview with Scott.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he's an engaging person. He's a very engaging guy, so yeah, I'm sure people enjoyed your show.
No, people, and they're still clicking away. That's
Good.
for sure. Still very popular. It gets a lot of regular clicks.
All right.
So how do you go about campaigning?
Well, I've just returned from a state listening tour. I was in Kankakee, Joliet, Springfield, basically trying to hear what are the real issues people in this state are facing. And I've heard it runs the gamut. The economy is, of course, front and center. People are concerned about their 401ks. They are concerned about job security. Businesses are folding. Some businesses are leaving the state of Illinois. So I have downloaded this information from people of the state of Illinois, and right now Scott and I are working on a plan that we're going to release to the public in maybe a couple weeks or so, how we're going to navigate our way out of this economic recession and put this state back on the road toward hope and prosperity.
It sounds good. One of the things I liked, I mean, Scott's talked about like zero-based budgeting, and which, considering how many, I remember years ago reading an article about how the U.S. government had a committee to standardize screw threads between European threads and the U.S. threads, and the guy who was in charge of that commission when it first began was celebrating his 40th anniversary and retiring.
Oh, wow.
And they're still not standardized. I mean, metric and inches and stuff. That's what it was.
Right.
So, no, I like that whole idea. So you're out and about. As a matter of fact, we ran into you in real lifetime last night at National Night Out over at Warren Park.
National Night Out. That's just such a wonderful program because, listen, we have so much crime and mayhem on the streets of the city of Chicago. It can't just be the law enforcement who's charged with keeping our streets safe. As residents and community leaders and faith-based leaders, we all have to stand together against the crime, the gun violence, and those things that are really sort of holding our communities hostage. So I'm a big supporter of National Night Out. Crime prevention is a major priority of mine. I'm probably the only person in this race who has experienced, since I was 19 years old, I have steadily lost good friends, murdered in the streets. I'm from Maywood, Illinois. It is a place that has its own problems with gun violence and crime. And so I'm very serious about this. It's personal for me. and I want to do everything I can to make our streets safe.
No, that sounds good. Give us another issue you're focused on.
Well, obviously, job creation. Job creation is a big deal for me. Scott Lee Cohen brought this issue to the Illinois political landscape. I will say this in any medium, that before he began to talk about it, no one was talking about it. He was holding job fairs, nobody covered it. No one had anything to say about job creation until Scott Lee Cohen came out of nowhere and won this election. So my issue is this. We're told that we are in a budget crisis. And I don't believe that. I don't accept that, because for years, in good times and in bad, they underfunded social services. In good times and in bad, they underfunded the pension funds. In good times and in bad, they deferred payments, they didn't pay their bills, and they did not balance the budget. So how can we say that we are in a budget crisis? What we are facing is an economic crisis. We're facing a recession, and people need to go back to work. That is why I have developed a program called All Hands on Deck. This means that it's actually an instrument to put more and more people to work, really, particularly the people who have been left behind, felons, the disabled, senior citizens, teenagers, all of these folks who have not been able to access opportunity, because what is required is not raising taxes, but enlarging the gross domestic product. Not taxing less income, but creating more income so that we have more to tax. So I am putting forth this All Hands on Deck program because I don't want, when we begin to recover, I want everyone to participate in that recovery.
That sounds good. I want you to give people your contact information.
You can reach me at 312-441-0300, and you can go to Scott's website where you can find my information as well at scottleecohen.com.
Baxter Swilley, independent candidate for lieutenant governor, running with Scott Lee Cohen. Thank you so much for being here.
You bet. Thanks, Albie.
And we'll see you on the campaign trail.
All right.